This one's tough. I'm a huge fan of Bruce Campbell. He's really not made bad stuff, and I'm not saying that Jack of all trades is a disaster, but the issue with it, it's something that fans wanted and didn't want at the same time. Bruce Campbell made his debut back as Autolycus on Hercules, as the king of thieves, could break out of anything, get on your goddamn nerves, be stupid, and sometimes save the day. He popped up once a season, bothering Herc and Xena, had some really great chemistry with Aeolus and Herc, drove Gabriel nuts. I always wanted more of him. Herc and Xena eventually ended, so that just left a lot of the side characters with unknown fates. Then we heard that Bruce Campbell was starring in a new series, running alongside with the Cleopatra 2525 show, but he ended up being a new character called Jack Stiles. When I found out that Campbell wasn't going to be playing Autolycus, I passed on the show and just watched Cleo. Obviously other people did too, so the series got canceled in the middle of season 2. I wanted to go back and finally watch the series. Honestly, I wasn't fair to just drop it like that, but it still annoys me. The thing is, Jack is Autolycus. They're literally 98% the same. What's different in Jack of all trades is the setting. It takes place during 1801, around the time of Napoleon, on the island of Palu Palu. Jack is sent to this place to act as an undercover agent. He's kind of like an early version of the FBI, to help the island break free of France's takeover with the help of a British informant, Emilia Rothschild. It's a period piece, yes, and a lot of the tension is because it was barely 30 years since the Declaration of Independence, but it doesn't treat itself all that much serious. In fact, it goes out of its way to get things wrong as much as possible. People who would be dead are alive in the show, inventions are given to Jack or Emilia, other times they have characters create things years before they actually invented them. It's a full-on comedy. It's a good and bad thing at the same time. What I really liked about Hercules and Xena was its ability to work both comedy and drama episodes together. Jack decided to go all the way to the comedy side, to the point where nearly every episode has a dick joke somewhere.
Jack!
What?
They're looking all over for you and you're in here playing with yourself.
So when they try to do actual serious stuff, it falls flat several times, which breaks moments. It's probably the biggest criticism I have towards the show, but I do like it in certain cases because the stories use all kinds of cliches, turning them into jokes that even built up characters. I think this is the reason why they didn't do the Autolycus show, because that's the Hercules universe. It has a preset style, and this show doesn't follow that. So they took the gamble and made Jack. Speaking of which, Jack Stiles. He's a blend of Autolycus and Captain Kirk. He has that charm that gets him out of situations, will go after the ladies every which way he can, but doesn't compromise missions for them, even when it looks like he did. But Jack does have a problem playing down his personality. He has to be an attaché as his main cover. He was sent by the president himself in order to destabilize Napoleon's hold on the island. So he has to do things he doesn't really want to do. But Jack can't hold in his comments.
Say, who's the munchkin?
So his mouth gets himself in trouble all the time, particularly with Emilia Rothschild. She's the stiffest of stiff undercover agents ever. She takes her job way too seriously. So when Jack meets her for the first time, everything goes to hell. They're complete opposites of each other.
The people need a hero, and we need a way to kick derriere without blowing our cover.
Thanks to you, every French soldier in Palau is on alert. You've made our job twice as hard.
Jack barges into rooms, says whatever the hell he wants, doesn't care if he gets killed, so he's constantly going up against Governor Croak, who's the man in charge and brother of Napoleon, with his second in command, Captain Brogard. Croak and Brogard are familiar to Power Ranger fans as Summer's dad in RPM and the voice of Imperius from Mystic Force. If you wondered what Stuart Devine looked like, here he is.
He is rather minute, my brother, is he not?
Now you have Emilia. She's had things set up for a while, and all of it gets thrown out the door when Jack comes in. She's like the ninja. She doesn't want to be seen while trying to get documents. Jack doesn't care about subtlety. Every which way, they argue about something. Both work out of her secret lab below the apartment. She's kind of like Dr. Frankenstein, coming up with inventions and crazy junk that help them through fiascos. So it even crosses into Richard Dean Anderson's legend territory. This is where the show goes full on and accurate. One episode had Emilia invent a submarine that kind of looks like a certain diva's pirate ship. There's no rules on what they'll make fun of or get wrong. Jack says modern things like,
Must be halftime.
this isn't even the biggest thing. Jack also assumes the role of the Dragoon. It was the island's made-up hero, basically Robin Hood. So Jack, failing to find a document and almost getting caught, puts on a mask and cape, becoming the Dragoon. He's Zorro mixed with 1960s Batman, but skipping on the intelligence. It gives him the excuse to even be more outlandish, insult the governor, his officers, and Napoleon. Unfortunately, this is another problem because of all the comedy. The bad guys were really lackluster. Croak and Brogard are always taken advantage of. They're played much like Saturday morning cartoon villains, where most of their plans fall apart because of a mistake. Someone not seeing through a crap disguise, and they don't get that many moments directly winning over the Dragoon. They always hire some outside help, like Blackbeard, who's a crazy lunatic, and they didn't get to personally improve. Maybe if the show didn't get canceled and gave them more focused episodes, it would have worked, but I really didn't like them after a while. That's the crux of the show's issues. Elements here and there are great. Both Jack and Emilia characters, good. They have a lot of issues between them, from their conflicting personalities to their tension wanting to pursue a relationship or not. It forces them both to get better. Jack is really sleazy. He toned that down over time. Emilia is dense when it comes to just living. She doesn't give people chances, assumes who they are from first impressions, so she really didn't make friends. Jack opened her up and they bonded through the 2 years. Emilia also had to deal with Jack's problems from the past, seeing some of the crazies he hung out with, and Emilia got some backstory as well. We get to see her really strict father. Everything else around them didn't work. There's great episodes, especially when Napoleon comes on, played by Austin Powers' Vernon Troy, but there are also many other episodes that are not as good. What I also noticed is that Trades took ideas from Adventures of Sinbad, which was a series that was inspired by Hercules, so it's a full circle of stuff put together. They went that more higher comedy route, but being Bruce Campbell, you kind of expect something a little bit more. Between Cleopatra and Jack, Cleo was the better series. It was more interesting than the setting of Jack, and got the balance better. Is Jack of all trades bad? No, it's an okay series, but has flaws and issues. At least the show itself acknowledged its issues in a few episodes. It's weird. When I reviewed Cleo, extending episodes to a full hour didn't help that show. But I think Trades being 30 minutes inhibited it. I wish it had at least gotten to complete its second season. Season 2 did tweak a few things that could have started to fix the problems of the bad guys. We'll never really know, unfortunately. I also need to bring up one little thing. Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orci produced and wrote episodes of Jack of All Trades, and they didn't suck. Orci even threw in a few Star Trek jokes. One I can remember was Jack complaining about tennis elbow when he didn't even play. TNG fans know what I'm talking about. If you're a big fan of Bruce Campbell or the Herc universe, watch it at least once to see if you like it. If you're not a real big Bruce Campbell fan, I say pass on it. There's really not that much memorable past, a Bruce Campbell show. Thanks for checking out the review. Subscribe if you want to see more, and if you remember a movie or a show that's long been forgotten, good or bad, leave it as a suggestion below. I'm always on the lookout for obscured stuff.